The film opens at a construction site, where Levon Cade is leading his team before they get started on their work. Levon has a close relationship with the Garcia family that runs the construction company, considering them as his own family. During work, he spots some thugs accosting one of his men. After politely telling them to leave, the thugs continue to beat on the man, leading Levon to throw a bucket of nails at them before proceeding to beat on them too. More thugs show up, but Levon manages to defend himself and get them to back off. When the young man asks Levon how he did that, Levon simply tells him to get back to work. The Garcias' teenage daughter, Jenny, saw everything but will not say anything, and she just asks Levon to have her back, which he promises. Levon is a single father to Meredith, who lives with her grandfather, Dr. Roth. Roth hates Levon due to the belief that he got his daughter Levon's wife killed, but Levon tells his lawyers that she committed suicide when they were serving overseas. The lawyers say that Roth has enough money to pay big-time lawyers to bleed Levon dry and keep him away from Mary, but Levon has his own resources and is prepared to keep fighting for his daughter. Jenny goes out to a club at night with some friends. They are being watched by a criminal couple, Viper and Artemis, who are looking for a girl to bring to their client. They spot Jenny and catch her after she tries to help one of her drunk friends. They put a glue trap over her mouth and drag her away into a van. On Monday morning, Levon is met by Jenny's parents, Joe and Carla. They tell Levon that Jenny has been missing since Friday night and that they feel the cops will not help them. Joe knows that Levon is a former Green Beret and that he knows how to track down bad guys. Levon says that part of his life is over now. He later goes to visit his fellow former soldier, Gunny Lefferty, who was left blinded during a mission. But he is thankful to Levon for saving his life. Levon talks to Goonie about the dilemma with Jenny. Levon later goes to the Garcia home again to speak to Joe, telling him that they are his family and implying he will get Jenny back.
I'm gonna bring her home.
Levon begins his investigation into Jenny's whereabouts by checking out the club she went to. He ends up finding one thug in connection with the other criminals, Johnny, a bartender working at the club. Levon busts into his apartment and waterboards Johnny for information.
Oh, yo, wrong house, kid.
Hello, Johnny.
Two of Johnny's buddies show up at the apartment and hear Johnny calling for help. Levon uses Johnny as a human shield as the two open fire, but Levon shoots them dead too before taking the money. The three corpses are later found by high-ranking Bratva Captain Wulo Koliznik, who thinks someone is targeting their organization. Levon later infiltrates Wulo's home after witnessing him striking his wife in the face. Levon knocks Wulo out and ties him to a chair that is tied to a rope while hanging over a pool, threatening to cut the rope if gets too loud. Levon interrogates Wulo over Jenny's whereabouts. Wulo curses in Russian, alluding to someone named Dimi and how it's their fault that this is happening. Levon cuts the rope and lets Wulo drown in his pool. Wulo is later found by his brother Simon Karshenko, the head of the organization. Simon sends his sons Danya and Vanko to go after Levon. In order to find Dimi, Levon meets with a local drug lord, Dutch, to pretend he is a dealer looking to sell his product. Dutch brings his goons out to deal with Levon, but he quickly mops the floor with them before returning to his business with Dutch. He recognizes Levon as a former soldier like him, so they develop a mutual respect for one another. Dutch gives Levon instructions to meet with Artemis and her associate Dougie, so they can begin their business. Artemis and Viper bring Jenny to meet with their client, Mr. Broward. He prepares to rape her while unconscious, but she turns out to be awake and bites a huge chunk of his cheek off, which pisses him off. Levon meets Dimi through Dutch, while still making them think that he is a legit dealer. When Levon tries to infiltrate their biker bar, Artemis catches him through surveillance cams and orders the goons to go after him. Levon steals a bike and rides into the woods. After a brief chase, Levon crashes against a police cruiser. Unfortunately, the two cops are on the criminal's payroll. Danya and Vanko show up to get Levon and pay the cops to walk away. The brothers haul Levon into their van and try to tie him up and torture him for killing their uncle. Levon begins a fight with them, leading to them getting thrown all around the van. In the struggle for the gun, the driver gets his brains blown up before Levon shoots and kills Danya and Vanko. He escapes their van and pushes it into the river. Simon later discovers the bodies of his two sons at the morgue and declares that their feud with Levon is now personal. Dr. Roth's home is attacked by the thugs after the organization learns who Levon really is. Levon learns that Roth didn't show up to pick Mary up from school. He goes to the school and quickly figures that something is wrong. He picks Mary up and goes back to the house, which is on fire. Levon rescues Roth from the flames before firefighters and medics arrive. Roth blames Levon for the violence that follows him, but Mary reminds him that Levon saved his life. Levon then takes Mary to stay with Goonie and his wife for safety. Artemis and Viper are instructed by Dimmy to kill Jenny, since her attacking Broward lost them business. Jenny manages to cause the villain's car to crash in the woods, and she is able to cut her hands and feet free to run and escape. She runs until she sees a cop car, and unfortunately the cops are Von Trask and Detweiler. They bring Jenny back to the trafficker's compound, where Viper and Artemis prepare to finish the job until Broward calls them and wants to give Jenny a second chance, except he wants her to stay dirty and awake. Simon goes to Dimmy's nightclub with his trigger-happy henchman Carp, who gleefully fires a gun into the club, to the horror of the other patrons. Simon goes to tell Dimmy who Levon really is, and that he is coming for him. After Simon leaves, Levon indeed shows up and shoots Dimmy through the hand, so he can't use his gun.
I figured that.
He then forces Dimmy to join him and show him where the compound is. Dimmy guides Levon to the compound's location. He forces Dimmy out at gunpoint, where Dimmy says that he knows what he does is wrong, but someone else would be doing the job if not for him. Levon kicks him into a creek and shoots him dead before entering the compound. Just as Broward is brought by Artemis and Viper to see Jenny and prepares to violate her, the compound is shaken up by Levon throwing a grenade. Levon proceeds to slaughter the Bratza goons, but Dutch and his biker gang head over to deal with Levon as well. After Levon kills the rest of the bikers, he and Dutch have a knife duel. Levon kills Dutch but honors him respectfully. Levon hears Jenny's voice and finds her room. He shoots Broward dead and goes after Viper, while Jenny locks her legs around Artemis's neck. Levon beats the shit out of Viper and destroys his neck using his elbow.
It's over now.
While Jenny squeezes on Artemis's neck until it snaps. Levon frees her, but Carp and two other goons are still outside. Von Trask and Detweiler also show up, but Carp thinks they are regular cops and shoots them to hell before blowing them up in their cruiser. Levon uses his resources to kill Carp and the other goons before finding a motorcycle and escaping with Jenny. Simon witnesses them leaving and calls his brother Yuri, who tells Simon that the devil got what he came for and to leave him alone because nobody in the organization will help him in his crusade for revenge. Levon brings Jenny back to her house, where she has an emotional reunion with her entire family. Joe and Carla tearfully thank Levon for saving her. He then goes to Gunny's home to see Mary again. As he joins them for breakfast, Gunny tells Levon he is finally home.
Welcome back, brother. You're home.